Hello, I'm Colleen Gallagher, CEO at Onward and Upward, and you're listening to the Association Insights podcast, where each week we interview association leaders from across the country to hear how they're trying new things, taking big risks, and delivering value for their members. We'll explore the realities of what it means to work in and with associations and bring you the insights and inspiration you need to advance your career and make big changes at your association. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Association Insights podcast. I'm your host, Keevany Hewitt, and I'm so excited to kick off our special Gen Z Insights series brought to you by our friends at Highland. This series spotlights rising Gen Z professionals making an impact in the association world and explores how their experiences, ideas, and values are shaping the future of our industry. Our first guest is Laiya Rollins of Leading Age Virginia. Laiya has spent 6 years growing her career within the association space, starting as a temp and now leading workforce initiatives in one of the most dynamic sectors, aging services. Laiya, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Let's kick things off at the very beginning. I'd love to know a bit more about Leading Age Virginia and the amazing work you guys do.
Absolutely. So we are a trade association. Leading Age Virginia represents the not-for-profit and mission-driven aging services providers in Virginia. We are a state partner of a national, Leading Age National, that carries over for the entire country. But we focus on Virginia, and that is adult day all the way to hospice. So when you're thinking retirement communities, when you're thinking nursing homes and assisted living, those are communities that we then represent. Our core business is advocacy, education, and resources for those organizations.
Amazing. The work you guys do and the people you guys represent, it's just so fascinating. I know when we initially chatted, you were like, it really does represent, it's not just nurses and people taking care of others in a retired community. It's all those different aspects, which is so interesting. So I know you've been at Leading Age for 6 years and have definitely grown into a leadership role there. So I'd love to know more about your career path and how you started out in the association space and what your role has adapted to and looks like now.
Absolutely. So I started off working at Leading Age Virginia as a temp. After college, I went to ODU. After college, I decided to taste around the different industries, not yet knowing what I wanted to do. So my entire time in school during the summer, I would temp. But after school, I was really focused on, okay, it's time to figure out what we want to do. And then in my different assignments, I realized that nonprofit really had my heart. So I only really wanted the nonprofit assignments. And then one day I was given an assignment over for Leading Age Virginia for about 3 months assignment. It was really cool. It was really good. I enjoyed my time there. I felt like I was learning a lot quickly, and it was a place I definitely felt like I could grow. I think what kept me there was I was in love with the mission, which is positive aging for all Virginians. And I was like, that's something I definitely can stand behind. So then from there on, I kept doing the hard work and making sure that I was doing what I needed to do to make it to the next level. And once I hit my assignment extended to about 6 months, and then I was asked to be put on full time, and I was like, let's do it. And since then, that was 6 years ago now, and I have grown a lot within the things that I've learned and the time and being able to engage with our members and all of the different things. I would say I've had 3 different title changes since I've been there. So that's really cool. Currently, I am the manager of membership and workforce initiatives. So I get to lead our membership. Within engagement and recruitment and such, and then also participate in our workforce initiatives and getting us connected throughout the states with different departments for us to expand aging services.
That's awesome. I love that you temp too, so you could dip your toes in a few different areas and figure out what you liked and what appealed to you. And that's so great that you've been able to adapt and evolve within Leading Age Virginia and take on bigger and better and more kind of leadership roles too. So that's awesome. I know that's definitely a Gen Z trend, I feel, is trying out a few different things and figuring out what makes the most sense and what aligns with your values and your passions, and then going all in and diving into those areas. So that's awesome.
Absolutely. I would definitely say I'm big on trying to make a difference. And I think I see that also as a trend within Gen Z. It's, hey, I want to do something that's meaningful, that has a purpose in my life, that I can make a difference, and I know I'm doing something well. So Definitely.
Exactly. Definitely a big pro of our generation. Definitely a very redeeming quality, I would say we have.
Absolutely.
Since you've been there for 6 years, what has made you want to stay in associations? What would you say? I know you said the larger theme of feeling really passionate about your work and doing good and doing better, but what has made you stay at Leading Age Virginia and stay in associations specifically?
Absolutely. So starting off with staying in with Leading Age Virginia, I would say it's our culture. Based off of the culture that our president and CEO, Melissa Andrews, has provided, it's definitely a great place to learn, grow, and have fun, which has definitely kept me here and kept me excited about working and excited about the next step and, oh, what's next month going to look like? Like I've had different goals of just, oh, there's this to do, there's that to do. So the opportunity for growth, the opportunity for a very community within our organization, all of those have kept me at Leading Age Virginia. Within the association space, I love the fact that I'm able to be my one person, but make an impact for many different organizations with something that I do create, lead, any of the things, being able to have just a small impact in many places makes me love the association space.
That's such a good way to think about it. I've never really framed it that way, but you're not just helping, you're not just in-house for one company, one organization. It's no, I actually help all these people and then all of their employees and all of their
Absolutely.
clients and all their people. It's not just, oh yeah, I have my little box and I help these people. It's you
Yeah.
actually have a lot of, and also that provides a lot of breadth in your work too. You're not just focusing on one area, you're getting to help a lot of different aging services and companies, which is great.
It's funny because this year we have our annual conference coming up, and our theme is Ripples of Impact. And I see association work as having a ripple of impact. We're doing this one drop within a pond, but then it ripples out to different organizations within different counties, within different states, all throughout, be able to serve different people. So, very cool.
I love that. So timely. So I know workforce development has become a really big focus for you in your role currently. So I'd love to know a bit more about some of the key challenges that associations like yours are facing when it comes to workforce issues. I know that's been a huge focus for a lot of our clients and a lot of the groups we work with. So would love to hear your perspective on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say one of the challenges within workforce development is recruiting talent that wants to be there. A lot of times it's, hey, I need a job, I'm looking for something, but then they don't have that passion. So trying to find someone that their passion also fits your mission. We've talked a lot, I would say nowadays, about culture and how to make sure that we have a culture of belonging, and so that everyone feels like they belong within an association, and making sure that we're balancing out that belonging by letting in fresh also ideas and insights and people that maybe we haven't had in there before. Something I heard from a DEI professional was we shouldn't be hiring people that we want to have drink after work with. We should be hiring people based off of their skills and what they bring to the table, and making sure that with that mindset, we're bringing in the right people that can do the job and that can succeed.
I love that. I love the idea too, especially of like aligning their passions with your mission and your values and your vision and making sure there's that really cohesive blend between both areas. Because if not, then that person might see this as just a temporary job or just, oh, I'm here for a bit. In order to grow the workforce, you really do need to have those integral foundational people who are there for the long run and are there to really develop and grow within the industry, especially in an industry like yours, aging services, and working with really critical cases and really a lot of families. Like those are very touchy subjects too, where you really want good people who are there not just for the paycheck, but actually care about the work they're doing every day and its impact and like the families they're reaching because of their work too.
One thing that I've said at a couple of different panels with students is that when you're getting into a field, so mostly within the nonprofit sector, it's purpose over paycheck. You need to be there
Mm.
for the purpose, not for the paycheck. The paycheck can come, the paycheck can be great, but you're going to make the most difference if you're there because of you have a purpose in being there.
That is so well said too. Because if you have the purpose, then your work is going to be a million times better, and the paycheck will be beneficial too, right? If you're putting in good work, you hopefully will get rewarded for it. But you're not going to be able to put in as good a work if you're not motivated and passionate about even the most like mundane tasks that you're doing. But if you see the larger picture and I think you're able to see that larger picture if you are really passionate about what you're doing. You're able to see, oh, okay, this might seem like a small, boring task, but I know that it's going to impact these people and I know it's going to turn into this project. So
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely.
So I know we've touched on this a bit, but the aging services sector is very broad, which I know we initially chatted about together. And I know you guys bring together professionals from a lot of different fields. I feel like there's this perception of, oh, it's just nurses and people taking care of old people, but that's not what it is at all. You said there's finance professionals, culinary people, and chefs and design. So how do you approach workforce development in such a diverse industry when there really is all those different facets? It's not just healthcare.
I would say for me and the work and how I've looked at it was my job is planting a seed. A lot of people say that aging services is a field that they fall into, and not many people just choose it. And I think it's because there's not much awareness of it. Like you said, a lot of people, when they're thinking of our communities, they're thinking of, I need to be hands-on, I need to be clinical, all of these different things. But it's no, there's so much more. And like you said, it's a business. So they're going to need a CFO. They're managing people. We're going to need people in HR. There's dining. So we're going to need chefs. We're going to need all of these different people that have these unique skills to come into our organizations and to make it run and to make it shine and to help our seniors have a wonderful quality of life within that. So I would say for me, a lot of it has just been planting the seed and making sure that we're casting a wide net when we're talking about trying to plant that seed and within recruitment, because you can get individuals from everywhere to come into your community.
Yeah, that's so important because I know we talked about this too, but my grandma was in a nursing home for a while and it was the full picture. It wasn't just the nurses who made sure she had her medicine and was good to go. It was the person who planned the fun activities and had that daily touch point with her. It was the financial person who made sure my parents were doing good when they were paying the bills and everything. Like it was really all of those different aspects. It wasn't just the nurses who were seeing her every day. It was like all those different behind the scenes people. So I love that you're getting to connect with students and show them the full picture. And it's not just this one type of role that everyone thinks it is. You actually get to go in all these different areas. And I would imagine it's also a pretty secure industry as well, because people will always need aging services. People always will age, so we'll always need aging services. So I'd imagine that's also an approach you guys take too when you're almost selling the industry. Is like this is here for the long run. Like this will always be needed. You will have job security. You'll be able to also really grow in this industry too.
So that's definitely a selling point that I have been using because our demographics are changing. We have so many baby boomers retiring every day that by 10 years from now, our workforce is going to have to change to be able to take care of everyone that needs.
Of course. So I'd love to chat about work-life balance and remote work, which I think are two really important things for our generation and the workforce in general. But I think there are definitely, especially some themes that have emerged for Gen Z specifically, looking at work-life balance and working remote and having that flexibility. So I know you recently transitioned to fully remote work to better balance your career and your family life. So I'd love to just hear about how that shift has been for you and what that's been like.
Yeah. So I had the privilege of being able to go remote right before my oldest daughter started first grade. And that I would say touches to the culture of Leading Age Virginia and my CEO being like, I'm here for you. I support you being a mom first. And so that's something that I sincerely appreciate and I'm forever grateful for. Being able to be remote and be present and my family has been a game changer for me. And honestly, I feel like I'm more productive because when I'm in the zone, I'm in the zone and I'm able to get everything that I need to get done, plus a little extra for the day. If I'm like, hey, I got some extra time, let's do it. But I'm happy to do it. And I think it also pushes in that joy of I'm doing this for a purpose. There's a reason I'm trying to make a change for the better. So that's something that I definitely enjoy. I can say that the initial switch was a bit difficult because I had been in the office for, I guess, 5.5 years at that point. And so now I'm like, oh, I'm lonely. Where's everybody? And I'm not able to go and get the snacks and go and chit chat. I'm like, oh, I have to have this structured time to be able to connect. But I think once I got over that and started actually planning, hey, let's connect. Do you have 10 minutes? I just miss you. I want to hear your voice. I would say that the flow of me being productive at work, me staying connected with my coworkers, all of it has been really good and really a smooth transition. And I feel much more productive than I was in the office because I think a part of it, I can't just go chit chat now. I have to schedule it out. But it's been fun. It's been really fun. And I enjoy being able to be a great employee, but also being able to be a great mom and being able to turn that on, that I can give them the attention, that I can be there when they get off the bus, that I can do those things.
I love that. I also recently transitioned to fully remote from being in person, and it's definitely weird. It's because you're like, whoa, my office is also my apartment and my home and my kitchen, and I'm all in one space. As much as people talk about work-life balance, it's also like work balance. It's like I need to have a balance of also talking to people and doing the things I used to do in the office while still being able to get my work done. So whether it's like taking a 15-minute walk just to be like, oh, I haven't moved around because I'm not walking to the water cooler, or like walking to go make my lunch anymore because I'm in one space. It's finding ways to bring those in-person, in-office aspects into a remote environment are so important. And keeping up those remote and virtual connections too with people, like you're saying, just being like, let's just chat for 10 minutes. That is so important because that makes people more productive too. Once they've been able to get that out of their system and have that interaction, that just makes your work so much better because you're like, oh, I still have that connection with someone. Because when we don't have that, it's so tough.
One thing I can say about me getting in the zone, sometimes it is a bit too much. And my Apple Watch will be like, hey, Laiya, it's time to stand up. And I'm like, oh, I'll stand up.
Yeah.
And then I'll come back an hour later and it's like, no, Laiya, for real, stand up. And
It's
I'm
like,
oh,
you need to stand up. No, my watch is always doing that. I'm like, I'm in a meeting. I can't stand up right now. Please stop. But no, it is always alarming sometimes. I'm like, oh, wow, I haven't stood up in an hour. That's probably not very healthy. I need to let me move around for a second.
Absolutely.
Gotta love technology, keeping us aligned and ready. How do you set boundaries and maintain a work-life balance in a role that is really centered around engagement and relationship building?
Yeah, I would say the person that I have to set the most boundaries with is myself. I would say within my organization, setting boundaries isn't as hard as it's because it's not as needed because everyone takes a person centered approach first. So that makes it really easy when there's something that is, hey, I'm going to need time on this, or hey, can I get back to this another day? Or that is super simple. It's really me setting boundaries with myself. My first boundary was, hey, I can't work in my bedroom. I'm in this one space too much. I need to get up and go somewhere else. So now I have a dedicated office space, and that's where I am the entire time. I don't bring work anywhere else. So that's helping me create that boundary. Having the boundaries of, hey, Laiya, maybe just because you can get started at work at 6:30, maybe you should wait a little bit later. So having those types of boundaries, or hey, maybe it's 5:30, let's clock out. We don't have to make it to 8 o'clock tonight. It's been setting that, making sure I get up and I'm walking around. Laiya, you need to do these types of things. So most of the boundary setting is within myself and saying, these are the things that you need to do. This is how you're accountable, one, to work, but also accountable to yourself. Let's be healthy with doing this. And I would say that's been my biggest fight, but something that I've definitely been growing and doing more of that self-care.
That's so important. It's almost like creating a kindergarten schedule for myself sometimes too, where I'm like, all right, snack and then work and then take a break and walk around, and then creating like that consistent schedule, I feel like is so important to have routine because we naturally really do well with routine, and that works for a lot of people. And when you don't have that, it's so easy to fall into the, like you're saying, starting at 6:30 in the morning and going until 8 and not walking around and not doing all those things. And then it almost loses the purpose and intention of being remote, which is to have that flexibility and be able to pick up your daughter from school or see her when she gets off the bus, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's so important to have those like boundaries with yourself and have those limitations. So you're like, no, let me look at the larger picture. I'm doing this so I can also balance my family life and be able to be there for my daughter. So let me stop work at 5:30. Like nothing is pressing. I can get this done tomorrow, or I already got enough done today. So that's just so critical.
Absolutely.
So looking at the larger trend of remote and hybrid work, do you think this shift to remote and hybrid work is changing the way associations and organizations think about workforce development?
I would say that I hope it is. I think that being able to provide that hybrid or a remote position within your organization, one, it's opening you up to the possibility of staff that aren't in your area. There could be talent that's very beneficial that can make the difference. And just because they're not 30 minutes away, you're losing that. You're missing out. So opening up those flexibility, I think, is a wonderful tool. One, when we're looking at recruitment, when we're thinking about retention, I think that it's great to allow people to be able to grow within your your organization and still have a place. So being able to have the flexibility like my organization did to be able to still be present in my daughter's lives while working and doing all the things and being able to be the best mom possible so that I can be the best employee possible. Because if I'm a bad mom and I'm like, oh, I'm stressing on all these areas, I'm not bringing my best self to work. So being able to understand that your employees are people first and taking definitely that people-centered approach to how you're managing our workforce.
That's so well said. I bet that carries over into the organizations and, services you guys work for too, is having that people-centered approach of, I'm sure burnout is a big issue for a lot of people in aging services. And that's emotionally and physically tolling too, to be working with people who are at the end of their life. Like that can definitely, I would imagine, be a lot to take on. So it's like, how do we make sure everyone's okay, both in the office and out of the office? Because if you don't show up as your best self, you're not going to be able to do your best work, no matter what field you're in or what area you're in.
Absolutely. And I think a part of it is just making sure that you're listening to your employees. You're listening to some of the things that aren't said, the messages behind the message, the understanding why maybe this employee is always 10 minutes late. Maybe having that conversation. Hey, what's going on? My kid's daycare doesn't open until this time. So this is the shift it takes for this to happen. Or, hey, what's going on in this area? This is what's happening at home. And this is a situation that I can't change, but this is what's going on with me. And I think listening and being open and having that conversation when your supervisor is able to put down the electronics and give you eye-to-eye contact and you're learning about me, one, it's going to make the employee feel like you care about me. You care about me as a person and not just an employee. And that's going to make me work harder for you.
I love that. I feel like that's so true. Like all throughout school, I was very fortunate to have teachers that were always like, hey, notice like what's going on at home? Like how is that impacting whatever stresses are going on in a kid's life impact how they perform at school? And then we almost forget about that when we transition to working, and it's, we're still humans, we're still people. We still have to think through, I am someone at home as well. And those, whatever's going on in my life carries over into my work naturally. So it's so important to have those check-ins with your manager or supervisor, whoever it may be, to make sure like, how are my people doing as people, and how will that impact their work, and how can I make the work environment as good as possible for them so they're able to perform their best and feel the best about the work they're doing.
Absolutely.
To wrap up our episode today, I have created some Gen Z style just for fun questions in honor of the Gen Z Insights series that we're doing. Wanted to let our audience get to know you a bit more through these lightning round style questions. First one is, what was your favorite TV show growing up?
I'm a SpongeBob kid. I love SpongeBob. I still love SpongeBob. My kids love SpongeBob. That's just something that's me. He was ridiculous, and it's something that we have to carry on. And yeah, SpongeBob, I'm 100%.
I love that. I love that you're like, my kids will be watching SpongeBob as well. Making sure that to carry on the tradition, pass the torch. Love that. What is a nostalgic snack or food from your childhood that you still love?
I'd say that one's kind of hard.
There's so many good ones.
There's so many good ones. I'm going with a baby bottle pop.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny you said that, because my sister recently got one. She's like 16, recently got, when my mom buy her one from the grocery store, my mom was like, this is ridiculous. You are 16. You do not need a pretend lollipop baby bottle. My sister was like, yes, I do. So it's just, some of those nostalgic snacks just hit different. You gotta have them.
Yeah, that and like a pixie stick. I think we see my sugar problem. But yeah.
Love those. Are those the ones, I feel like I used to go and fill those up too, where they had like the giant ones at like Dylan's Candy Bar in New York, where you go and get to fill it up all. Oh, it's the best.
Oh yeah.
If you could bring back one trend from the 2000s or early 2010 time period, what would it be?
Ooh. That one's kind of hard. That one's really hard. I didn't think of it.
We'll skip it.
No, but it's a good one. I can't think of it. If anything, I would say kids dressing up at school again. That's the trend I wish would happen again, that I'm not seeing a lot of in my volunteering. I'm like, what's happening? Why are we not dressing up for school? Why are we wearing pajamas? What's with the blanket? There's a lot of that going on that I'm like, okay. I wish that would come back, the dressing up for school.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Blankets, that's definitely, I feel like, a little far reaching, because I would just be out if I had a blanket with me at all times. I would not be awake at school.
Right.
What is your go-to TikTok or Instagram Reels scroll rabbit hole? Are there any online rabbit holes that you go down and you're like, oh my goodness, I've been watching this video for 30 minutes?
It's definitely a self-care rabbit hole. And I'd say it also partners with like my Amazon cart where I'm like, oh, that looks good. And then I'm throwing it in the cart. And at the end of it, I'm like, what did I just do?
And they make it too easy now because everything's connected. They're like, oh, TikTok shop. You can just go. And I'm like, oh, this is too easy. This is just, it's right there in front of me. Of course I need to buy this. Yeah, that is definitely tough. But good to go down a self-care rabbit hole because that ties in well to our episode and all the work-life balance and stuff we talked about. And the last question is to finish this sentence. So when I log off for the day, you'll probably find me
At the park with my kids.
Love that. What a good way to end the day, end the work day.
Yes.
Some outdoor time. Awesome. This has been an amazing conversation. You offered so many incredible insights for our listeners, and I really enjoyed just getting to chat with you and get to know you more and hear more about all the amazing work that Leading Age Virginia is doing. And a big thanks again to Highland for making this series possible.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to even interview me. I definitely love it. And if I could leave everyone with just a golden nugget, it's, hey, explore aging services. There's definitely something out there for you.
That's a wrap for today's episode. The Association Insights podcast, previously known as the Association 100 podcast, is a production of Onward and Upward Marketing and Communications, where our mission is to make associations and nonprofits the go-to source in their industries through earned media and thought leadership. This podcast is an extension of our newsletter, a bi-monthly collection of best practices, top trends, helpful ideas, and smart strategies delivered straight to your inbox. Have you undertaken a big change at your association? Or do you have some words of wisdom from the trenches of association life? We want to hear from you, and so do our listeners. Drop us a note at info@onwardupward.com. That's info@onwardupward.com. Be sure to subscribe, give us a 5-star review, and share with your friends and colleagues. We're available anywhere podcasts are found. Come back next week for more association insights and inspiration. Thanks for tuning in.